Stop. I said we're live now.
Hi, Char.
I was going to tell you to wait. We weren't live yet.
Oh, well.
There's a delay. I was going to, I would have
Well,
started.
you said you counted down and then went quiet. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's why I was waiting for the confirmation. Okay. Go ahead. Now do your thing.
Okay. Welcome. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Politics and War radio show. My name is Red, and I am accompanied by my co-host, Char Aznabella. Say hi, Char.
Hi, everyone. Duh.
And we also have a guest today. His name is Prefontaine of Terminus Est. Say hello.
Hello, everyone.
All right. Now, we are going to go firstly to a discussion of game mechanics. I've wrote down a few things here. The main thing that everybody seems to be having a problem with recently is the treasure update. So what do you have to say?
Well, first off, you should probably introduce what the treasure update is, so everyone who has not heard of it yet would know.
Okay, so the treasure update is something that can prevent Treasure Island from being Treasure Island. It's an update that kind of restricts people grouping into one alliance just for the benefit of getting a whole bunch of treasure income. So, I mean, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. And apparently, Sheepy or Alex has gotten a lot of pushback from that. Why do you think that it's like that? Prefontaine.
Yeah, okay, just making sure you're asking me. First, it's not really an update against Treasure Island, because, I mean, Terminus Est, we have, I think, 6 or 7 right now. Let me bring up our page real quick. And it's more about not letting an alliance get too many treasures and then the bonus getting a little out of hand. Because, I mean, we have, 7. So we have a 14% bonus. And prior to the change, we didn't actually purchase any. I think Treasure Island purchased probably about at least half of theirs. I don't know what prices they went for. We went bought 1 or 2 from ARG after the change was announced that it was delayed. But basically, it's the change that makes it so the more you have, the less the bonus is for each one. You still get the 2% bonus for one. You get maybe 3.5 for 2, and then it starts scaling down more rapidly. So it wasn't so much against Treasure Island; it was against people consolidating treasures, because that's what's been going on, and especially with this past update now that the Blitz is kind of sleepy. But the problem wasn't the idea; it was the execution, as often is with Sheepy.
He's kind of bad about that.
Yeah, well, he didn't even bring it up in the dev group, the closed dev group.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what it's there for. The funny thing about it was Treasure Island, from what I've been told from people in the know, was created to kind of point out the stupidity of treasures. They wanted treasures to be changed, and they got what they wanted, just not in a manner that was good. So it shows you just how poor of an execution it was when he effectively gave them what they wanted.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, I think Treasure Island would have remained Treasure Island until Sheepy did something about it. So it was. Well, yeah,
but he just did it so bad. And like I said, they did that to point out how stupid treasures were.
Yeah.
Because the premise behind treasures was to help promote a reason for war. Like, someone has too many treasures, or you want to go get a treasure, and that epically failed.
I don't think that was the. I don't think that was the fact, because I mean, especially during war, if they do get stolen, but it didn't really encourage the reason to actually declare war, especially between alliances. It was not that. It wasn't.
I didn't say it was a successful attempt. I just said that was his original design, and it failed epically. But this change makes them even less of what they were designed to do, and but they became a joke. They really are. They're not worth fighting over. The only time that they're really useful is in alliances that have a stupid amount of income, and then it's you don't. Treasures need to be removed ultimately and readdressed.
Yeah. I said that as soon as they came out. I'm like, why did you do this? And it's just a stupid implementation. So yeah, now okay, now we'll move on to our next point. Before we do that, is there anything you would like to add on the overall idea of treasures, or should there be something to replace treasures, or
that Sheepy needs to look at what's a problem, like what is currently a problem with the game, take an aspect of the game that there's an issue with, address it, like identify it, and then try to find a solution that addresses it. The problem he has is he just comes up with ideas that he thinks might be good, but don't really address a problem with the game or don't really add anything of value to the game, like baseball. Baseball seemed like a good idea at first, but it just added nothing to the fucking game, and now we can't delete it, and we get these updates, random notifications saying someone retired, and no one gives any fucks.
Yeah. So
I'm way too lazy to have my baseball team actually fight. I wish that it automatically assigned games, and that mechanic would be easier, I guess. Go ahead.
I choose not to spend any money on baseball whatsoever, and
to me, it would actually have a function if it was automatic. Like, if the games happened automatically, and that you didn't have to manually set them up.
Well, then it would just be a stupid amount of free income.
Well, the thing is, you would still, like, if you lost, you don't get as much income. And so, in your best interest, making sure that your team is best would have more value. I'll be honest with you.
Before he added identifies, there were people that were playing like 10,000 games a day and making millions.
Yeah,
I have never played a game. Like I think I played one, and then I never touched it again. And then I did spend stupid amounts of money on certain players, and then I realized.
And I remember back when it first came out, I had like $11 million in my bank, and I just started clicking furiously. And then I remember that I wanted to buy a city, and then I couldn't do that because I just spent a whole bunch of useless money on a useless feature.
Yeah.
So
now, as far as treasures are concerned, what I think would make them function better, pardon my French, is the idea of them no longer being attached to, you could totally, obtain them from war, but I think there should be a economic aspect, because a lot of alliances have large amounts of treasury and they don't really have anything to spend on, and so do you remember what I was talking about, archaeology? Essentially,
this was brought up last week. This is the thing that Char suggested.
So the way this would work is alliances usually have very large amounts of banks, but imagine if they could invest some of their alliance bank for a chance to find treasure.
So I think what Char is trying to say is, like, you would have some sort of project, and nations would have the ability to mine or search or discover treasures, certain treasures, and then continue
essentially, on. I think it based on like what areas the various alliance members are in, and it would try to find some, like, there'd be a chance to get a treasure that way, so there is an economic aspect in which they could be earned economically and through war. And so then you would have a very similar mechanic to the game, is where you have economic players and you have very warlike players. And it recreates that element, because economic players generally don't get treasures, I guess, right?
I would say that Treasure Island is an economic alliance, and they have the most treasures.
Yeah, well,
and they got them through economic means.
Yeah, but I think the point that Char is trying to make is that the average nation can't achieve them economically, but they can raid them if they are more military if they were more of a militarized nation.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I disagree that a nation can't acquire a bunch of treasures or several. But that's just me.
Well, you're assuming a different kind of economics that I'm talking about, because you're talking about like trading them. If you didn't have access to trading with the people who had them, how would you obtain them?
1 second, let me find a quick screenshot for you.
In fact, I have no idea how treasures come into existence. Like, what is the defining moment of their creation? I guess is the question.
2 months after they spawn, they despawn and move to a new nation based on colors.
Yeah, based on nation color, yeah.
See, I feel like the way they spawn in should be through an economic project that an alliance goes at together, if you will, and invest its own resources to acquire, if you will. Now, there'd probably be like a chance, a roll of the dice, if you will. But enough rolls of the dice, artifact is found. That's just what I think, though.
Yeah. So here now we'll move on. So there's another thing that Sheepy is like really lazy. I don't know what is up with him. Why has he not implemented a power plant explosion thing for nuclear facilities? Like, for example, every time you build a nuclear power plant, there is a chance of a very small chance, but there is a chance that you could have a nuclear fallout.
Well, the thing is,
and this has been suggested multiple times, but it still hasn't even been considered.
Well, the thing is, the game like initially gave you a warning that something bad might happen, but then like later it was revealed that he never coded in the power plants ever failing. Like there's a mention that the event exists. Yeah. Okay.
He was the one who suggested it and said, "Hey, I think I'm going to do this," and then he never did. So there's a.
So you're continuously left with that warning, and there's like, but
yeah.
if he's not going to implement it, he needs to remove that warning from the game.
Yeah. What do you think, Pre?
You want me to explain Sheepy's laziness? And you're talking to the guy that suggested perks 2 years ago, like one of the best received suggestion ideas in the game, and they still don't exist. So I don't know what you want me to say about Sheepy not implementing something into the game that he said he would, because he does that shit all the time and then gives you baseball and treasures. So. You know, it's one of the things. He makes bad decisions. He gets an idea that he likes and he runs with it. Things that require a bit more effort, like perks, because the problem with perks were that the way he wanted to implement them was effectively people are only going to take the same ones, and this perks were supposed to give you nation diversity. Make it so that you can be more militaristic, more economic, more resource-based, more population, things like that. And he made it so you're obviously only going to take certain ones because only certain ones are good. And that's not how it's supposed to work. But so that's just an example of he doesn't follow through with things that actually require any amount of effort and planning, and he's more of a, ooh, this is shiny, I want to do this, and here you go. He rolled out treasures in like a day. After he liked the idea. Baseball was a very quick thing from what I saw. He could have been planning it for a while.
I think that player fan thing. It was like the Orbis version of FIFA that this player created, and then all of a sudden he just says, "I do the sports thing. I think." Like baseball is a good idea, and I think it's just something gets in his head, and he runs with it, even though it's not a good idea.
If you ever have him on the show, feel free to ask him why his execution is such garbage, and why he is stuck with
I'm pretty sure if we brought him on the show, we wouldn't say it like that. Like
Yeah.
you just hear
Why not?
suddenly click.
We
Back when
should totally bring Prefontaine and Sheepy into the same radio show, and I'll just like step aside and let them
Yeah, we both mute our
let them go at
mics
it.
and just watch what happens.
Him and I don't get
Yeah.
along very well. It's not a very hidden thing.
Oh, okay. We know that y'all are secret, like secret friends. Y'all have little decoder rings that match up. We know it's okay. You don't have to play. You don't have to play that you hate Sheepy. I know it's the popular thing to do. No, I'm just kidding.
He banned me, you know.
Yeah,
No,
he also warned me for reminding him that he had a to-do list that he was going to implement things. So, I mean, so anyways, let's move on
the thing
to the
to
next
remember
thing.
is that Sheepy is both soft and cuddly, and also
Stop talking.
has sharp teeth. See?
Yeah, sharp teeth. I think he tries to show off his sharp teeth even though they look dull. All right, so let's move on to the next point here. And Char, he was the one who suggested this out of humor, and then I kind of thought about it. And this is called a build a wall around your nation project, and this is the idea. It decreases chances of infra or money being destroyed during war. What do you think about that, Pre?
Honestly, it sounds like what perks were supposed to do. Something you
Yeah.
could get for a perk. That's honestly what some of the what were the stuff that gives you military bonuses. Those are kind of perkish as well. What you were talking about is kind of more of an idea that I think it was Goldie had in the closed dev area. It's the idea was again based off perks, but perks for projects. So you can eventually buy enhancements on projects. So you could say build this wall and maybe it adds 5% to defense across the board, and then you could upgrade it to then protect money, or then upgrade it to protect improvements, things along that nature. So I think if you could make it more dynamic than just this defensive, general defensive thing, that would be a cooler aspect of it. But again, I'm not too big on adding a ton more projects to the game until more players are closer to like 20 cities and the amount of infrastructure. Because once you get to the point where everyone has all the projects, you should change it. I'm at 18 cities, and I think I only have like 7 or 8 projects. And there's still more that I want, and that should always be a thing. And having it so we have too many choices, though, can be a bit bad as well in a way. I mean, it's good to add the diversity to it, but I think we need to get our projects, the ones that we have, a little better before we start adding too many new ones. Because we have plenty of ones that are worthless in comparison to others.
Well, the thing is, it's interesting is when I originally suggested it, it wasn't a project. Red thought it'd be interesting as a project.
What do you think it should be if it's not a project?
Okay, do you know the screen where you add infrastructure and land to your cities?
Yeah.
I think there should be a third one for wall infrastructure or defensive infrastructure.
And I said
when you
no.
get attacked, you lose defensive infrastructure, basically, before you start actually taking city infrastructure damage.
Well, I think what you're looking at would be, instead it's a new improvement that you would build based on your infrastructure, and those would take improvement destructions first and could help reduce some of the overall infrastructure. I think it would be better that way than promoting a different type of infrastructure. I think it would be a better suggestion to go a new improvement route with defensive improvements, because then you could maybe talk about the idea of having anti-air defenses around cities. You can have anti-tank defenses. You can have mines in the ocean.
That's the thing that doesn't make sense to me is why isn't there defensive improvements?
Because
Sheepy is a
again,
bad
Sheepy is
admin?
lazy.
Oh no. Okay. Fine. 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 All right. When we bring Sheep on the show, I'm gonna say defensive improvements now, and go stabby, and no. But see, the thing is, this seems like I'm trying to think of ideas that are based on like current established infrastructure of the game that would be easier to implement than a radically new feature, if that makes sense.
The problem with
Sure.
trying to work within the features that already exist is there's a large imbalance on the features that already exist. So adding something
Yeah,
new to something that's already
and it
imbalanced
would take
is...
it would take a reasonable administrator to kind of fix all that.
Well, the problem is there's a lot of ways you could go about trying to fix it, and who knows what would actually work. I mean, you can get an idea of what won't work. You look at something from those that have experienced certain different games and stuff. You can go, this definitely isn't going to work. And we had something like that happen somewhere in the summer, I think. Sheepy really wanted to overhaul the game a lot and change a lot of stuff with War, and I was constantly, shitting on the idea left and right whenever I could. Because it's one of those things, and he's like, well, how do you know it's going to not work if you've not experienced it? It's like, the same way I know not to stove when it's on. I don't need to actually do it to know that it's a bad idea.
And then there goes Sheepy, who would implement baseball and treasures. So, so I remember something about this. I think it was you who suggested that instead of having like limits on each military improvement, you would have an overall limit, and then you could build as many of whatever military improvement you could.
Yeah,
I think
it's better than having, because Sheepy wanted to change to a completely uncapped system. I think having caps, but for each category rather than each individual improvement, is a better idea. The only problem is planes are so OP that it would just be a whole lot more planes. But that's kind of good because planes are also the cheapest resource-wise. It would make aluminum demand goes up, and aluminum would cost more and more. Steel would go down. It'd help with the balance of that in a way, but it's one of those things where you're going to see a shit ton more planes because you're trying to tweak a system, like I said, is broken. It's hard to do that until you fix the problems that already exist.
And I don't know when Sheepy's going to get around to do that. So, and here's another thing that I have suggested multiple times in the past, but it has never been considered, is like a nation transaction page or an interface where you can actually send other nations or alliances money out of your account, out of your nation account, and without having to trade like one food for $9 million.
You can create your own individual alliance briefly and do that, or if you have access to your own alliance's bank, you can kind of do that too. But I understand.
But there's, as I was just about to say, there's like only a few people are actually leaders or have access to an alliance bank to do that. So, and so that is another thing that is not even worthy of discussion.
It's simple. If you want Sheepy to actually make some meaningful changes to the game, people need to stop donating and demand some changes in return for donations to return. I mean, you take away his profit, he's either going to pull the plug or actually listen to players. But no one of us should
actually start messaging a whole bunch of people saying, "Hey, don't donate," and then follow this link. That is kind of like a protest to Sheepy.
If we get enough players on board, we can have them, instead of donating, we can just give them some money to stop them from donating. Get enough rich players on board. Oh, you're going to buy 10 credits? Here's 40 million instead. Don't do it. Don't waste your money. Tell Sheepy you want the game to become better, and we'll give you money, so it's helping the game in a way.
Yeah. All right. So, and I have like two more things here that are kind of that we can do nothing about, but I'm still going to talk about them. There's like it's the opposite of an embargo. It's like a nation friendship thing that is opposite of an embargo. It's like it's publicly announced in your description that this is one of your friend nations, and it's like it's just what it is. It's an opposite of an embargo. It's a friendship treaty. Then you can't attack them, but
well, I mean, you can do that in your actual bio if you want. You can type that out. I mean, it's adding a feature that doesn't really do anything. Getting back to the whole like, what problem does this address, or what aspect does this add to the game? I mean, you can already do that. I doubt that many people are going to take advantage of it. And let's say you have that you're treated with someone else, and I attack you. It's not really going to sway my opinion, kind of thing, from attacking you if I'm attacking you for a reason, because war is costly enough where you're going to attack someone, that you're going to take some damage or you're going to get countered, so you're not going to go into it lightly, sort of thing.
Yeah. So yeah, like that. But I'm just going to skip my other one here. What would you besides all of the things that Sheepy has not implemented, what would you personally like to see Sheepy do that even if it's one thing you think would like to see Sheepy do to implement into the game?
Have you ever listened to my old shows?
Not much.
Remove nukes and missiles from the map system.
Missiles and nukes from the map system.
Military action point system.
Yeah.
So basically, what you would do is turn them into something like spies. Have them be able to do more dynamic things. You can target units. You can target infrastructure. You can target improvements. You can target all sorts of things. Because right now we don't have a solid way to destroy improvements. Did the math long ago. It's a stupid amount of days of solid war getting the perfect results to actually destroy improvements. So
and it's another thing too. I always thought it was really weird that you had to wait and realistically had to wait 12 days in order to launch another nuke in game.
Yeah. So
if the world ever went to war, it would be like 30, 40 at a time being launched.
It also makes it more dynamic in terms of teamwork. You can have allies, like they do with spy attacks, lob some missiles for you and maybe help turn the tide for having you come from behind and beat someone. So it helps that factor as well. It also makes it so wars are more active. Like you're spending your action points on traditional warfare, be they ground, air, or sea attacks, and then you take the damage and nerf it from missiles and nukes because you're doing it more liberally now, and you have them be allies in killing things, like I said, for improvements, especially for nukes. Have a nuke drop 6 improvements and be able to launch a couple of them a day, and then you can turn the defensive project into something that reduces the number of nukes you can be hit with a day as a flat rate rather than a random thing. Because sitting and launching a missile isn't fun. I know I've launched a large amount of them. I think I'm near like 50 from early on, back when they were actually useful.
Missiles,
it's no fun to sit
that's
for 16 hours and then press a button once. It's more fun.
That's another thing that Sheepy implemented and then retracted was, like, if you have naval, ground, air over your opponents.
Ships are actually fine to answer insert name here, as long as you know what you're doing with them. Most people don't.
Yeah. Ships need reworking. I don't know. I mean,
ships need to be able to hurt aircraft, because currently only aircraft can hurt aircraft, and that's a problem because once you control the skies, you control the war.
I thought, yeah, that's true. Okay, so, well, I mean,
it's funny is in real life. In real life, you have like different kinds of ships. Some that are good against ships, some that are good against air, and the game kind of simplifies all of that. So, do you feel like maybe there should be more military units? Like an anti-plane
go back to the thing,
ship?
adding more stuff to an already imbalanced system. I think we need to fix what we have before we add more to the mess. Well, because it's much easier to add stuff into a balanced system and make small tweaks than having to.
And the other thing is the cost to actually militarize is unbelievable. And if Sheepy wanted to, like encourage more war, instead of implementing treasures, he should have reduced the cost of tanks for like 1 steel per tank. That's absolutely ridiculous. What say you?
To reduce tanks and steel costs in what way?
Like a tank right now is worth 60 in-game dollars and one ton of steel. What I'm trying to say is, instead of implementing treasures, and he wanted to encourage war, he should have reduced the cost of military units.
Yes and no. There's a point in the game where that would have been more useful than it is now. I mean, I rarely see wars lasting long enough in terms of dealing damage to infrastructure versus units, where you're going to need more steel than you have. You'll run out of gas and ammo before you run out of steel, because infrastructure goes down so quickly, and like you're only going to see a couple rounds of war before the other side is completely leveled. So you are only going to need, at my level, at 18 cities, I have like 50k steel on me. And that's more than enough for 2 full buys of tanks, and I already have some tanks sitting around. And I make like almost 700 steel a day. So there was a time, probably about 9 months ago, where it would have been a good change to encourage war, because steel was the main cost of a war. But we've kind of gotten over that now, and there's so much steel in the world because everyone switched from making aluminum because you don't really need much of it, and they realized how expensive steel was. And it kind of fixed itself in that way. There's a lot more steel in the world than there is aluminum. There's a lot more steel being produced because it's more needed, and therefore the prices.
And the other thing is steel it requires much more to actually make, because instead of having one resource, you have two that are that is using, like you're having to use up an equal amount of coal and iron in order to produce steel, while the other resources you only need one main raw resource. So anyways, everybody, we're going to go on a break here. We'll be back in about 5 minutes.
I assume you want me to add the special one, right?
Yes.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
Sweet. S is can someone check that that's actually playing the music?
It's our beautiful music playing.
I haven't checked.
I don't know. I can't check. I can check. Let me try.
I don't think it is. From my thing, it's not working. Give me a second. I know how to fix this. DDD.
Solitaire says it's playing music.
Really?
So, yeah.
Alright, well, if he says so, it's fine then. My thing said it wasn't that there was no music, so.
Okay. right. I'm gonna add somebody to this call. So we're ready now. You can stop playing music. Chris.
Well,
All right.
Okie dokie. Like, I didn't know if
We're
you wanted to
back,
finish
everybody.
the song or if you, how long y'all were gonna take.
No.
Like,
No. So wait, I have added another guest to this call. To this call. Welcome, Aristide. Aristide is the I don't know. I'm not going to search what his actual title is, but he's the Foreign Affairs Minister of Cornerstone. Say hello.
hey.
All right. So now, we're gonna go into to ask Prefontaine about Terminus Est. So I have no idea what Terminus Est even. I mean, like what does it? What is its goal? What is its main purpose? Like what is the goal of Terminus Est?
To fight and have fun, simply put. We don't we don't set ourselves on a side of the web. We'll take sides, but we don't commit to them long term. It's more of a we have a goal that we want to accomplish, be it just fight someone for fun or fight someone for a reason, or fight someone because we're being paid to fight them, and we'll make that deal. And then afterwards, like we were fighting on the same side as Pantheon's allies, not in the most recent war, but the war before that, and then this most recent war we fought.
Okay, wait. So apparently people can't hear us talking. So, I don't know what you want to do to fix that, Chris.
it says that y'all are. I don't see any problem. Hi.
You don't see a problem.
No.
Can nobody hear anything? Holy cow! What was that?
That was my desk moving. I tried to adjust the boom arm and things went bad.
Oh noes.
So are we broadcasting or no?
All right, yeah, we're in a broadcast right now. So can you people hear us? The lag is ridiculous.
Do you need to shut down the broadcast and restart it?
No, I think I believe maybe I lost some I dropped some frames for a second. I think someone in my family decided to do something heavy for just a split second.
Okay, so is
Thanks, guys.
I until you guys say that it's good to go, we're just gonna sit here awkwardly.
God.
The sound is always being interrupted. It wasn't like this last time. We shouldn't have played the song.
Are you still running the song accidentally?
No,
It's
it's
not
gone.
with volume?
Yeah, I removed the song altogether. It was actually a YouTube video that I was streaming over the thing.
Yeah.
Damn.
Hey, I don't know. It worked last time just fine. What do I hear in the background? Somebody sounds like somebody has a cheerleader.
Someone said it's better.
So we'll continue now. What? I don't know if anybody
I'll
heard
just
what we were
restart what I was
saying.
saying about you wanted to know what is test effectively. Why
Yeah.
do we exist? What is our goal? Like I said, our goal is to have fun, fight wars, be more militaristic. We're top end exclusive in a way. We have a 14 city minimum requirement to even join, and the reason for that is we want to be able to fight in the same tier. Like we want to have people in the same group, and it's expensive to build someone all the way up, and it takes a while, and we can't defend them if they're small before they get up there, and they could leave, and you've invested all that time and money, blah blah blah.
Yeah, and it makes sense not to run your guys for you to run yourself short or thin.
Yeah. And in terms of politically, what we do is we don't pick sides. We have our own goals, and if they line up with other alliances, we'll make deals. We'll make deals just because we're bored. We'll make deals for money, and we'll commit ourselves to a side in a major conflict sometimes. Like
But
most recently,
you don't commit yourselves long period.
yeah, we don't weigh an anchor down on one side. We don't commit to one side of the web for more than a fight. I mean, we might end up fighting on the same side a couple times if our goals and objectives line up. But I mean, I think we showed, especially with this last war, our willingness to fight on whatever side.
Okay, so it looks like we're having technical issues again, Char.
I looked at it; it was fine. Like I actually I checked the stream, and it's perfect. Some people may not be able
Okay.
to receive this amount of data. I don't know. It's I checked it. It's crystal clear, perfect.
It's because you added another caller.
No,
Maybe,
no.
Wow.
but I don't. Poor Aristide. All right,
Cornerstone,
so
right?
yeah.
I see.
Okay. So, now this is another question that I don't know if you want to answer or not. It says, how do you plan on getting Terminus S back to the number one again? After, I mean, not including Treasure Island. Why is that?
Number one is a curse in this game, man. it's a big target on your back, and that's not our goal. I mean, it's only because we keep some kind of strong military requirements. We'd probably drop a couple places if we laxed on those, but it's more of keeping the number one average strength is more important to us than having the number one strength overall.
And Treasure Island is kind of keeping that spot warm and comfy. Nobody wants to attack them, so.
Yeah, but I mean, even if they weren't there, TKR is ahead of us and should be. They have way more people.
Yeah. All right, now we'll move on to Cornerstone with the same questions. Aristide, what is the goal of Cornerstone? What is the point of having that alliance? Why do you exist?
It's sort of like a little hangout place for people who are, believe in God and Jesus, all that.
Yeah, I figured that was going to be a stupid question to ask.
How have we not fought each other already?
Yeah, in a sense, it's almost opposite spectrums there.
Calling it now.
Yes.
Next big global war, Test versus Cornerstone's going to happen.
So I joined Cornerstone since I retired from TLF. I joined Cornerstone as a retirement place, and because the people there kind of have a little bit more of my viewpoint on life and politics and war in general. But so what is the, like, I don't know how to ask this. What is the general concept? How do you plan to make a statement Orbis, even though you have? How do you plan to make a bigger statement?
I don't get it.
I'm sorry. Hello? Are you even there?
Am I?
No, we're all planning against
Yes, you're
you.
there. Yeah. What say you, Char? Or what should say you?
In what regards? Like, no, I was sitting here. I had to
Char
mute
has
myself.
absolutely-
No, I had to mute myself, throw off my headset, and check. I keep checking the stream. Because every time y'all complain about it, I throw off my headset, I pull out my phone, and I start like listening to the stream there, just to check the quality.
So, in a sense, what say you about everything that we're talking about?
Y'all are all wrong, and only I know the truth. There we go.
So Char has no general sense of Orbis politics. So
Orbis
Now,
politics. Let me pull that out. I think I have a giant slide about it. It says this. Don't. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's my entire presentation on Orbis politics. If you need any more assistance
please.
with Orbis politics, let me know. I assure you, if you follow that clear instruction, your life will be much better. You'll have less stress. Your real life will actually be strengthened and lengthened. You will have more years in your life, and you will have additional happiness as well. So, just saying.
Okay. So now we'll get away from focusing on both sides here, but we're gonna go to UPN survival. UPN has, like, besides everybody in UPN and their few allies, how do Prefontaine, how do you think UPN is going to survive much longer, especially another war, after the NAP kind of goes away?
Well, first they need to start by paying me the $1 billion for attacking Pantheon, because their deadline was yesterday. So once they do that, their survivability will go way up.
There are no words. Okay. So what do you think, Aristide?
Like, hearing that, the survivability is gonna be that much high if they don't pay test.
Just agree. Just agree. That's all you can do. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know how, personally, UPN, especially after Rose kind of switched sides, I don't see a clear political future or future at all for UPN. But what I was trying to ask is, like, how do you see that? And I think I got my answer. I don't want to dig into that. So what do you predict? What do you predict is going to happen within the next month, Pre?
I would like to stop and say that someone actually posted something. Apparently someone posted a picture declaring war on me because our radio show sucks. Which, interesting enough, this is Red's show. I'm just, like, helping him.
You're the tech guy, though. It's your fault.
Yes.
No. I checked. Everything's fine on my side. It's them.
My.
Their connections suck. They need to work on their internets.
Oh my. Okay. I don't know how to respond to anything that is going on.
Maybe I should ask, like,
right
please
now.
don't attack any of the hosts of the radio show during the radio show.
I'm going to rage quit at this point. I'm just like, okay, I'm done. So what
What do I think is going to happen with the game in the next couple months? Well, ultimately, what needs to happen is OO and Syndicate Sphere need to split apart. What happens prior to that is still up in the air, and how long it's going to take is still up in the air. But I mean,
Why do you think that OO and Cindasphere should split up?
because there is no opposition.
There is no opposition. Well, I mean, everything at this point is one-sided.
Exactly,
But,
and that's not going to work out. So either they'll get bored of stomping people because there's no good fights, and this game is particularly bad in terms of beatdowns. Like, it's not really fun to just completely level someone. It gets very tedious. So
after a while,
they'll probably they need to get bored enough to split apart, or have some internal drama to split them apart, or just decide for the good of the game to split apart. And I don't expect them to attack each other over it. Maybe some people with some drama will sign treaties on either side. Maybe Alpha will. No one's going to say that. What am I talking about? So maybe just some pre-existing drama will go to different sides of the spheres, and maybe that'll be able to spark a war where they fight each other in a way. But what would be really nice to see happen is someone from like TKR piss off someone in the Syndicate and have two major players in each side of the sphere out for each other in a way. Because without that happening, I don't see those two fighting each other even after they split in a very easy way.
It does seem that OO and Cindasphere.
The only other option is for them to come after Tests, Arg, and Raw's way. And I mean, okay, they would win that fight. They have way more people than we have. So it would just be one of those things where they need to decide what they want to do, if they want to just lock down the game for a while, or if they want to make it interesting and find some way to split up some of that hegemony a little bit. And if they do that, well, we can go from there. But everyone is effectively at their mercy in terms of what's going to happen in the next few months. It's on them to decide. And everyone's in that post-war lull right now, but that'll wear off probably around the time Thanksgiving, where people are starting to plot for the next big fight. But right now, there's no one to plot against, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. What say you, Aristide?
Well, I was just watching something else.
Oh. Okay, so the question is, what are future prediction? What do you predict that will happen within the next 2 months, and with Orbis politics?
Well, I have nothing to say.
Okay, so now, since there really is nothing to predict, in my opinion. I mean, at this point,
wait. You're the FA guy of the number 9 alliance, and you don't have any opinion on what's going to happen in the next few months?
Psst, whatever happens. Just roll with it.
Oh, we're so rolling you.
I just basically showed the logs of me being attacked.
Okay, let me take a look at this. Yes, he has 2 monitors, it looks like.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, okay. Moving on. The next thing that Prefontaine has done with his show about a year ago is talk about the top 10, like just an overall opinion about the top 10 alliances. So we'll start with Treasure Island. Pre, what do you think about Treasure Island?
The cliche, careful what you wish for, you just might get it. They got what they wanted in a way they didn't want it.
Okay, what about you, Aristide? What do you have to say to respond to that?
I wasn't listening earlier, like way back when this stream started. You want to brief me on that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were just talking about Treasure Island and the new treasure update and stuff. So, I mean, that's about it.
It's only a temporary thing.
So we kind of all figured that. So what do you personally think about Treasure Island?
Well, it's just a place to for alliances to make money off the taxes of their members in it.
And treasures.
Yeah, have treasures.
One of these days, Treasure Island is gonna have to buy the treasures off of Terminus Est, or vice versa. All right.
They have asked.
They have asked.
Yeah.
And you.
But before we gave them a price, that's when the nerf happened. So we just kind of went, screw it.
Okay. So, Knights Radiant, what do you think? Bree?
I'm very disappointed in them. I was expecting more from them post-war. They're the number 2 alliance. They recently had a series of victories in wars and kind of stepped up. And in between big wars is when everyone complains about nothing happening, because everyone's in that lull. This is the time to make the moves. This is the time you set up the framework for the next big war. And I'm not in a lot of the same back channels as TKR, but I hear whispers from those channels in a way. And I haven't heard much coming out of the TKR camp. They just seem to kind of be resting on their laurels, which I was hoping that an alliance of their size in their position would do.
I think all of the most of the alliances in Orbis are actually just sitting there resting, doing nothing at this point. So
yeah, but I want them to do more. They're in a position where they really should be grabbing the game by the balls and doing something with it.
All right. What say you, Aristide?
Yeah, alliances are pretty much doing nothing. There's really nothing going on in Cornerstone.
Yeah, I don't think anything is going on, really. This is why I was...
Yes.
Yes. All right, Terminus Est, Pre.
It's hard to kind of talk about yourself. We're the best. There you go.
Okay, Aristide. Say something bad about Terminus Est, or say something good.
Oh, don't really want to say anything bad. I got threatened on the radio show.
You can say something bad. It's okay.
If
you actually have a bad opinion about us, go ahead. I won't take it personally.
No, I don't have any bad opinions on anyone in this game, really.
Need to work on that. It makes it more fun.
Okay. So, number 4, Pantheon, Pre.
Disguised neutrality. They finally moved over to a side in a way, but I don't see them ever being any sort of influential party in their sphere. Even though they're big, I imagine it's just hey, we're going to be doing this, guys, and they go, okay. Kind of a jump, and they ask how high. I don't see them pulling any strings. I don't see them doing anything impressive. I see them just sitting there and waiting to be told, okay, it's time to go fight for your alliance or your blockmates. So,
Aristide.
Pantheon's nice people, really. We just gotta wait. Give them a longer time.
We'll see. I do. In a way, I do agree with Pre. I do think Pantheon is just like undercover neutrals, and I think that's just common knowledge, really. But who knows? Number 5, Black Knights. Pre, what do you say?
Way too many treaties for an alliance that used to talk about not wanting to be a part of such a thing. Their growth rate is kind of low, but I guess that's from fighting in wars and getting kind of overwhelmed in the middle tier when Syndicate was kind of the higher tier or whatnot. I didn't really pay attention to their fronts that much. Someone apparently in Orbis Central made a thread about them extorting members or something like that. So apparently that's a thing. Even though I know it's not. No.
Well, when you have the most, aside from Treasure Island gets like all of the aside froms, but them being the actual them having the most members in the game, it stands to reason why there would be some controversial things going on.
I like Yoso. I like Lord Strom. I don't really talk to too many others from that alliance. Holton left. He talked, I think. Sorry about Jodo's over there, the original leader of Terminus S from way back when. But outside of that, I don't really talk to him that much. They have.
I thought El Pinchazo was the original leader. I could be.
He was I'm talking like way back when. And when Tess first came over here,
okay.
Jodo was also the leader in Alpha, and Elp was number 2.
Okay.
They had a parting of the ways.
Aristide.
Like, they're very influential to me. Well, not to me directly.
Yeah, but like I was just about to say, in what way?
Like, I see them like talk a lot in the war room last war. They're very they love their allies, like, really.
Well, as I said before, I mean, they do have the largest member base in the entire game.
Yeah.
And as I said before, it does stand to reason why there would be some controversial things floating around. Have you heard, like, what do you say to that?
Not true.
Not true, okay.
Yes, ignore the controversies. They're not true. They're no good lies, deceptions created by our enemy. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I sure like the 5-word answers that I'm getting from Aristide.
Yeah, well, I was trying to like
Not
get him all burned up, and just go, you know. You have to do that on a radio show.
Yeah,
you gotta
start insulting.
I'm a bit tired.
Okay, number 6, Rose, free.
Dumpster fire.
Oh my gosh.
Dumpster fire.
That's true.
They seem like there's some sort of like South Korea influenced theme. I don't even know what to say about Rose. I have no idea. Rose has just changed.
Yeah, I did.
Tell me a good thing Rose has done.
Tell you a good. I don't have.
There you go. Dumpster fire.
Actually, I'm not gonna. At this point, I don't want to choose sides, and I don't want to support anybody's decision on anything at this point.
Ooh.
But okay, I think Aristide said something about Rose. What did you say?
Oh. Well, not too many people in Cornerstone are fond of Rose, No.
Why is that? Why's that?
Because they were allied to VE, and we sort of had a falling out with VE.
Yeah, I noticed that. I don't know what exactly happened there. What happened?
They were just basically using us as a meat shield for them.
So I guess that leads to a
Like-
question: how does it feel to be a meat shield? I mean, how do they do that? I hear they stick gigantic wooden object up your rectum and they hold it up. Is that how that works?
No, it was like
Okay.
our leadership felt that we owed them a lot since they did help protect us back in the old days.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we went to war with them every single time, except for this one and last ones.
Oh, okay. Then how does that make you feel, though?
Makes me feel relieved.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you feel they should have used more KY?
Okay. Okay, moving on to Viridian Enton, or Entente. I call it Enton. what do you say?
Entity?
Entity, yeah.
They live in the trash fire dumpster that is Rose. The problem with VE is that they used to have leadership that was very active in the community and influential in a way. Goldie and Imperio, whatever.
Yeah. I think this is just my personal opinion here. I think ever since Moonpie became the the main person in Meridian and Taunt, I think things kind of just went
Lacked
from
direction.
there. Yeah, I
And
mean,
that's the problem.
when Impero was the leader, everything was really cool for Meridian and Taunt.
I wouldn't say it was really cool. The problem with
I'm trying to be neutral here, so
the problem with VE was they needed to get rid of their leadership. The problem was they got rid of their leadership and there was no one to fill that void. So it was replacing a bad thing with also a bad thing. They've just kind of been listlessly dragging around this game, desperately needing someone to grab the Alliance by the balls and give it some direction. Point it in a way. Get a path and take that path. That's what VE needs. Moonpie is a good guy, but he's not a number one guy right now for VE. Whether it's he doesn't care enough, he doesn't have the time. VE is just kind of
from what I know from Moonpie, he does have a like a full-time job and a family that he
So I mean, I'm not saying it's his fault, but there needs to be someone in that alliance, or someone needs to go to that alliance and give it some direction, because it's just listlessly floating around the top 10. When I think of a top 10 alliance, I don't think of VE, and they're number 7.
Yeah, you know, neither have I recently. So what do you say, Aristide?
Aerith, can you hear me?
I never said it when we were talking about Rose, but
Aerith.
no, I did like their leadership back then, but after the little changes, just like sort of stopped talking and.
Yeah, I think Guardian and Taunt has gone really quiet, and I think that goes back to what Prefontaine was saying, where there's just not enough leadership effort there at the moment. But that is subject to change. So now we'll move on to number 8, Rosway, I think.
So I never thought I would be an ally of Roz, and I really didn't. And Castor actually put most of the work into trying to bring us together by constantly talking to me, and it was less of that so much, but that gave a nice avenue to talk about it. But
can you hear me?
It was them being bullied when Argon Roz got attacked by TKR, BOC, and someone else. I forget. Anyway,
it's not muted.
That made me start talking to them because I was expressing public displeasure with the whole them being attacked. Papalist kind of solidarity sort of thing.
Aerith, can you hear me?
Now that we're allies, it's good. Castor isn't around anymore. They need kind of someone to be a bit more of a public presence for the Alliance, because he was a very big public presence, good or bad. He was there. Roz kind of needs someone to fill that gap. If anyone remembers back with BOC, I've actually made this comparison to Rosilla himself. Think of Castor kind of like Ashland. Ashland was a very polarizing figure. People liked him, people hated him.
He mentioned
he was very vocal about a lot of things, and he made BOC relevant when he was there. I don't want to see the same thing happen with Castor, because he made Rosway a bit more relevant by always being a public voice.
I think.
Can you hear me?
Castor,
so it'll take some time because I don't have any admin support.
Moved to another alliance.
Yeah, he started his own.
I don't know how that's gonna go. To be honest, I'm just waiting for the bank to be all of a sudden just gone.
Except one more.
So, what do you say?
These guys have removed their friends.
About Rosway.
Well,
damn it.
Cornerstone didn't really want to align with Rosway because it had Castor in it, first of all.
Hey guys, we're gonna have to wrap this up.
Okay, well, let's just finish here.
I told you like 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, actually.
I haven't been looking at the Discord or Skype for that matter, so. Well, instead of that, we'll move on to Cornerstone, and then that'll be our last explanation. Prefontaine, what do you have to say about Cornerstone?
Future target.
What? What was that? What was that?
Future target, apparently. With Cornerstone, honestly, they don't seem to do much publicly. So they're sort of in the same element of VE in that regard.
Hey, sorry about
When
that.
I think
Eric.
of
Can you hear
the
me?
sphere they're allied to, they're a part of, I don't see them as a main player. Whether that is that way behind the scenes as well, I don't know. But publicly, it doesn't seem like they're as influential or as important as, say, BK or TKR in terms of decision making. So I would like to see them again. Make some moves, make some waves, do some things.
What do you have to say about that, Aristide?
Well, Cornerstone.
Yeah, at this point, you're
since-
gonna have to add a little bit more to your explanation because number one, it is your alliance, and number two,
Yeah.
you have to kind
Chris,
of
shall I
protect
call
your
you?
alliance.
Not yet, Eric.
Well,
Can you hear me, by the way, Eric?
not yet.
What?
Yeah.
Okay,
Wait,
what's going
can I-
on here? Why are there 4 people speaking? Because there's 4 people
Wait.
in this call. Okay, go,
Okay.
Aristide.
Well, Cornerstone, since it's a alliance based on Christianity and all other Catholic faiths, we don't really are much of an aggressor, really. More of a defender. And every treaty we have is passed by the Senate and the Cabinet, and it's taken utmost care. And we actually care for our treaty partners. So
Yes.
we take our treaties very seriously.
And from for the short time that I've been in Quarterstone, I notice that the people here are really cool. So I mean, I don't know if that's what all people do that or as or not. But anyways, that is it for this show tonight. Please hit the like button and subscribe below. If you
liking
it, of course, if you liked it, of course. If you didn't like it, then hit the thumbs down button.
Well, no. Take your tire and throw it through Red's office. It's because it's all his fault. Blame Red.
Yes. Char's only mad at me right now because I'm the reason he got declared war on. So.
No, fine. Sorry, it seems like a bunch of us got like someone tried to Skype call all of us, and it turned into some weird sound effects in the background.
Okay.
Chris.
All right.
Chris.
So
shall I start calling you and bugging you?
Have a nice evening or morning for some of you.
Nah, I'm joking.
So yeah.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Thanks, guys, and remember, you're always loved.
That's what the church says.
Oh.
Just pointing out there.
Okay.